So, if you cast your mind back to October last year during the Season of Light, it was announced that shiny Noibat will make his big debut. For the first time in Pokemon Go, you'd be able to encounter shiny Noibat, and if he was hatched from a 7km egg, you'd have a greater chance of being shiny than a Noibat found in the wild. That was the tagline they went with in black and white. Now, Gemma, she must have spent a crazy amount of time, in game currency, and real life money on nothing but incubators for quite a long time. She must have probably hatched about 70 of these eggs, and all she ever got was Yamask, Noibat, but just his regular form, and Phantump. So you would think that having a Noibat community day would mean that she finally gets to catch that shiny that she's so sought after. That would be the case, but she was unfortunately working for the whole community day and had to play from home. Hello and welcome to my second community day video of the year. My name is Chris, your no nonsense full of mischief presenter for the day, and I want to say a big thank you to start things off. The first video was received rather well for my little redesign I've had going. You all seem to be quite positive about it. I'm glad. Different for me, but I'm glad you're happy with it, and we'll just keep the ball rolling on it. I'm also going to say hi to the small handful. I'm going to say small handful, it could be a big handful to me because I'm sort of just small channel, but to all the new subscribers who have just joined, welcome to the show, sonnies. It's going to get weird. So, where do we start? Noibat Community Day. Yes, Halloween last year, he was all about the 7km eggs. Just to really Halloween it up, I guess. Normally you'll find Noibat in a 10km egg. That's probably why I had quite a healthy amount of candy before this event even started. But then you need that because to evolve just one of these takes 400 candies. It's it's a lot to ask, I thought, but here we are. As for tasks, I called it. I don't care what you say. In the last video I said to you that the tasks are the same in just about every community day, and this is a prime example. Power up a Pokemon 10 times. It's right at the very start. And I mentioned this in the last video, it's absolutely insane that they would throw it that early. But what made it worse was the other task I talked about was the one where you transfer 10 Pokemon. They used it twice. Like, step 2, they added it in there, and then on step 3, they obviously couldn't think of any other ideas, so they were like, yeah, we'll just throw it in again. So that task comes up twice. I don't think we're going to see any new tasks in community days for a long time. There is the Hoenn tour at the end of February, and chances are the tasks will really vary then because you'll be given two paths to choose from if you've bought a ticket. There's the Ruby path and the Sapphire path. So you get to pick and choose, and I don't know how much the tasks will be altered by the path you choose, or if it's just a colour thing. I really don't know. Depends who you prefer as well, if it's Groudon or Kyogre, but let's face it, if you've bought a ticket you're going to be raiding a pair of them, so you know, you're going to get them both. As for on the subject of the tasks, I realised that the backstory in this community day was all about the professor's berries getting stolen, which he normally makes juice from or something. It's engorging stuff, I'm sure. But every reward was pretty much berries, 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 and it got to the point where if you have a small item bag, I think you probably spent more time emptying it than you did actually using the items in it. You know, I know I went over my limit maybe twice and it was just berries. I don't normally keep berries. Pin-ups and gold are the only two berries I ever keep, and to see raspberries and all that crap, it was a bit overkill, you know. But I suppose in this event using pin-ups was a very good idea, because you needed the 400 just to evolve one. It's quite a huge number to have. So pin-ups were your friend right enough, and I suppose you probably use most of them. But I do find the item bag just gets cluttered with a lot of stuff that's really useless. Like nab berries, I don't think I ever keep them. They're really useless. Each to their own. If you use them, whatever. Early, very early in this event, I actually caught a hundo near enough straight away. The fact that Gemma wasn't with me on this one made it kind of difficult. She normally keeps the pace of the day. She's quite fast on her feet, but because she wasn't there was no pace. So I spent a lot longer in certain areas than I normally would. I feel like I took too long to get into the main town where all the real stops and spawns would be. And the fact that she wasn't with me kind of made it a lot worse when I told her that I found a hundo within the first like 20 minutes. Maybe even less than that, I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, that's not good. I mean, if she was with me, she would have caught it too. So it is what it is. But I mean, there's a lot of things about this event that made it kind of weird, other than the fact that it was without Gemma by my side. But it was like, Noibat himself is quite an awkward one to catch. He likes to fly about a lot. But I did start asking myself, why Noibat? He's not particularly useful for anything. So I'm kind of wondering if this was maybe Niantic's way of making up for a very poorly executed shiny debut last year, you know? Because obviously you're almost guaranteed to find a shiny on Community Day. It's inevitable. But having said that, it took me over an hour and 20 minutes just to find my first one. I mean, I finished all these tasks. I finished the research within the first, well, half hour, maybe even less than that. But the search for the shiny was just hilarious. It went on for over an hour and 20 minutes. And then after I caught it, even then they were few and far between. I did not catch as many as I normally would on a Community Day. It felt really laboured, you know. But regardless of that, I did enjoy my day. I found Tyler P and Owen Insane, two people who, well, I think they're out most Community Days, but they seem to have become more friendly and they tag along, they'll speak. And three of us moved along until we found Agent Smith and a couple other people along the way that I'd never met before. So it was good to meet new people, especially when they all want to go and do a raid, which is all good with me. As far as Noibat goes, he doesn't actually have much use for anything. Using him in PvP, you'll probably get your butt kicked. He's not particularly good at anything. As for his evolved form, which I'm going to probably pronounce wrong, but I'm going to say Noivern. he isn't particularly great either. I'm sorry I have to say, because the amount of candies you spend to evolve one of these things and it's no use for really anything is really, really poor. Even as a perfect Noivern that I have, you can power up to like 3125 CP. Because he's part dragon, you can use moves like Draco Meteor, but even then he has no real use. His legacy move, Boom Burst, that they made such a big deal about getting, because on Community Day they do this, they tell you about the exclusive move. Some of them are really good, but that's not to say all of them are very good. Boom Burst particularly sucks. It is no use for anything PvP wise. It takes far too long to charge, and it's a normal move, so it doesn't really, there's no real super effectiveness behind it. There's no real hit. It's a shame, but not every Community Day Pokemon can be like the meta of PvP. They're not all great. They can't all be great. If we're all great, then you could just throw anything out there. But then that being said, Community Day is not just about getting the best of this and the best of that. It's about going out, enjoying yourself, meeting up with your mates, and there's bonuses all day long. I say all day long, okay, I mean really 3 hours, because the last 2 hours they have that 4K egg raids, and no one does them. That waste of time. I wish they would just get rid of that idea and extend the timer to 5 hours Community Day, because who does these things? Doesn't make sense. Obviously our scoreboard is a bit poor this time around, but then Gemma did spend a whole day indoors, and even then she still managed to catch 6 shinies, so I mean, it's not a day wasted. So I'd probably say, to wrap up Noibat Day, the only use you're going to have for Noivern is a gym defender, because there's no other use for him, to be fair. But if you're wanting to talk about gym defense on Community Day in Inverness, not in Elgin, but in Inverness, there is a gym, and it's what can only be described as boxes that have been put on trees, and these boxes are for housing for real life bats, yeah, and it's a small group, I guess, of keen enthusiasts who want to promote the conservation of wildlife, in this case bats, in the Highlands of Scotland, otherwise known as the Inverness Bat Group. So I have actually found them on Facebook. I've put a link in the description if you want to go and see it, what they get up to. It's there. They monitor the bats, and they shoot videos that shows you everything they do. It can be interesting stuff if that's what you're into. Long story short, that gym was occupied by Team Instinct, and Inverness Instinct, with a small group that I know, have basically filled out this gym. So one of them that's in this group, Team Instinct, called Eric, sent us this video, which I can only thank you for, mate. You went above and beyond. But this video showing you what was actually in that gym. Just take a look at this. This is following the assignment to the best of ability.
The Bat Boxes Gym. This gym is currently full of shiny bat Pokemon. The Johto Trainer, shiny Crobat. Mind Fudge C, shiny Swoobat. Polkanut Zombie, shiny Golbat. Sassenach Emma, shiny Woobat. Mr. Krabs for Smash, shiny Noibat. Sinnoh confirmed, shiny Noivern.
So that's basically about it. The whole of Community Day wrapped up in a nice little bow. With a couple other mentions. The day before Community Day I caught this Piplup. It's a hundo. I just got up in the morning and he was there, right outside the house. Perfect. the raid I'm showing you now, I'm not going to show you the whole of it, but thank you to El Chapo Asho from Oklahoma, USA for the invite to it. I did get my Hundo version from Tapu Koko. I never got the shiny version. Gemma got the shiny version, and I think I did about maybe 30 of these raids. I gave up after that. It's just too much. But Gemma got it, as you can see here. So go her. As for on Community Day, we did a Registeel raid. There was 12 of us, so that's a lot of names to mention. I'll put a full list at the very end of the video. To be honest, I did manage to get a better one than what I had last time he was here, which was last year I think. I never really got a good one, but this time I did get a good one. So I'm quite happy with that. I just finished doing the Shadow Skirmish event where Giovanni from Team Rocket had a Shadow version of Registeel. Mine was rubbish, unfortunately, but you can't win them all. You can see here that he's not particularly great, but I did have the shiny from last year, so I didn't push too hard on the Registeel raids. Other than that, that is it. Looking for the rest of this month, I probably won't post any more Pokemon Go stuff up until the Hoenn tour. I don't think there's anything else that really needs mentioned. There is a list right here of all the different community days that are coming up, the dates. They're still to be announced what they are currently, but they're there, so book them in your calendar or whatever you do. But yeah, I don't think I'll be posting anything else. If anything, there'll be a Valentine's Day thing, and at best I'm looking to get my Mega Gardevoir, because I've got a Hundo and I'd like to power that up. And the only other thing I'm looking for is a shiny Love Disc, because it's made of gold. Looks pretty cool. But yeah, that's about it. So let me know how your community day went. Did you get what you wanted? Did you get enough shinies? Leave it in the comments. Am I covering enough? I did throw in a couple little bits here and there from stuff I wanted to put in the last video, but I thought it'd be just too much. But yeah, let me know how you feel, and I'll catch you in the next video, which might not even be Pokemon Go. Right, catch you there guys, have a good one.